In Washington, key groups within the House Republican Conference reached a tentative agreement last night to keep the government funded through October 31st. The deal, which was made between the far-right House Freedom Caucus and the center-right Main Street Caucus, includes a funding bill for the Department of Defense, as well as a wish list of conservative demands, multiple GOP sources with knowledge of the agreement said. That includes pairing the bill with GOP-led immigration legislation from earlier this year that severely restricts access to asylum and includes calls to finish the wall at the southern border. The Republican deal also calls for an 8% cut to domestic spending, with exceptions for military and veteran funding. However, there is no mention of aid for Ukraine or disaster relief, which have been sticking points for both parties and the White House. Let's bring in Democratic Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California. She is a candidate for U.S. Senate.
Congresswoman, what impact does this still have on maybe avoiding the shutdown? It doesn't sound like there are a whole lot of points in there that Democrats are going to agree with.
Nice being with you this morning. Really, this was worked out just last night. So, of course, we have to actually look at what we say the devil is in the details. But based on what the press is reporting, it seems like that their intent is to move forward to try to make sure that the government does shut down. You know, I serve on the Appropriations Committee and the Budget Committee, and each one of the bills that they put forward had all of these poison pill riders. For example, denying access to reproductive health care for our women in uniform. Also, defunding totally diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, banning the pride flag at federal buildings. On all of these bills, they have their agenda, and their agenda was not even related. They're not even related to the Appropriations Committee or the bills. So I'm not sure what they have in mind, but to me, it appears they want to shut down the government.
Okay, so speaking of agenda, just sort of looming over this or adding to the dynamic is, of course, the impeachment inquiry against President Biden, and now word that Hunter Biden will be subpoenaed. How do you think that impacts the ability to negotiate with your Republican counterparts, or does it?
Well, this is a bogus type of effort on their part. And in fact, we're going to continue doing our job for the people. You know, we're fighting to make sure that, one, we deliver, which we said we would. We have delivered, and we want to continue to deliver based on reducing the cost of living. We have an affordability crisis. We want to make sure that health care, that education, that all of those issues that address the quality of life for people, that we keep fighting for that. I think people will see who's on their side and who is not on their side through this very ridiculous and silly and bogus investigation that they're moving forward with.
Congresswoman, as we look at what they're doing in terms of they being the Republican caucus and this small group but effective group in terms of putting pressure on McCarthy, are we also looking at the bigger picture of what is going to happen to the principles of and goals of having a true democratic republic that's at stake here? I mean, you've been fighting a long time. I remember in '94, you and I were part of the election watchers in South Africa for their first election. And so this is something that we're talking about, the fundamental basics of how a country is going to be governed. Isn't this at stake in everything they're doing, from the budget to the Hunter Biden kind of investigation? Isn't this really about their overall trying to change how we're going to govern and who is going to be in charge of governing?
Absolutely. Our democracy is fragile. I was on the floor on January 6th, had to evacuate. I know what they're up to, and I think the country does, in terms of, first, their attempted coup. They tried to thwart the peaceful transfer of power. Donald Trump, we all know who he is, and he is not a democratic leader. He has always attempted to move in an autocratic fashion, and now he has the Republican caucus through through their policies trying to follow suit. And it's very dangerous, and we have to stop this. And that's why these elections coming up are so important. We have got to, yes, elect President Biden and Vice President Harris, because we have got to have our government that's going to be a government that's going to preserve our democracy. Look at what they've done in terms of trying to roll back our voting rights, LGBTQ rights, our labor union rights to organize, environmental rights. They're trying to our reproductive justice, the first time a constitutional right has ever been taken away in terms of the Dobbs decision. And so this is their agenda. And it's not a democratic agenda. It's an autocratic agenda, which is being led by Donald Trump.
Democratic Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California, thank you very much for being on this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice being with you.